This is The Wire for 2300 Zulu, September 16th, 2025. Precedence is routine. Information cutoff is 2200. Bottom line up front. Ukrainian attack reported in Vladivostok in possible sneak attack. More details released on Kirk shooting. Many questions still remain. Beginning with international events, in the Far East, this morning explosions were reported in Vladivostok as Ukrainian forces allegedly conducted a strike at far-flung military installations in Russia's eastern region. The exact location of the attack or attacks has not yet been confirmed. However, Ukrainian sources claim that the target was the 155th Marine Infantry Brigade. Analysts comment. So far, most of the sources on this attack are Ukrainian, so not entirely the most impartial resources for determining what happened. This could have been another behind-the-lines drone attack, such as conducted a few months ago, since this attack vector is really one of the handful of methods for targeting this far away from the current conflict zone in Ukraine. On the home front, in Utah, George Zinn, the man who created a distraction during the Kirk assassination, has been charged with obstruction of justice after admitting that he caused the distraction intentionally. Authorities continuing the investigation have stated that Zinn stated that he intended to draw attention away from the real shooter to allow the assassin to escape. In Washington, D.C., this morning, FBI Director Kash Patel testified before Congress on a variety of issues. Analysts comment. Most of the testimony today was only remarkable for the entertainment value, though Patel did continue to raise suspicions, as has become a nearly daily occurrence, regarding Jeffrey Epstein, stating that Epstein did not traffic anyone to other individuals. Analyst comments for this wire. Almost a week after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, the number of inconsistencies and accomplices remains the same as before. If George Zinn did not have prior knowledge of the attack, as insinuated by investigators, the initial knee-jerk reaction to help out an unknown assassin in the seconds after a brutal murder is very odd at best, or psychopathic at worst. Zinn does have a long history of agitation and mental illness, so at this point it's hard to determine if he is just crazy or a legitimate and pre-planned accomplice to the murder. This afternoon, the alleged text messages between Tyler Robinson and his transgender accomplice were released, mostly pertaining to communications between the two apparently after the attack, though no timestamps on these messages were provided. These communications, among other things, indicate that the rifle was covertly stolen from the suspect's grandfather prior to the murder. Otherwise, the tone of the messages as released is somewhat unusual and may be an indication of a pre-established alibi, knowing that these messages would be evidence at some point. Other terminology seems suspicious, leading to concerns that the messages might be fabricated or altered in some way, a speculative theory that is backed up by the inclusion of ellipses in the provided text, which confirms that part of the conversations have been omitted before release, though to what degree remains unclear. Right now, there's no way to confirm the authenticity of these messages either way, and much more information and investigation is needed to determine exactly what took place. However, even without digging into the messages, the general gist of the case so far is that it's overwhelmingly unlikely that Tyler Robinson acted alone. More broadly, the expansion of investigations into other accomplices continues, as many statements from investigators have indicated the list of accomplices is wider than previously thought, by the FBI at least. Authorities have stated that 20 individuals are currently being investigated for having prior knowledge of the attack. This concludes The Wire for 2300 Zulu, September 16th, 2025.